As we have rented a server from OVH, now let us see how we can set up CentOS 7 on top of it. Most of the web-based infrastructure providers provide a web console using which we can actually set up operating system, and also they will facilitate us with few more options which we can leverage as and when it is required. So to go to the web console of OVH, just go to their website and you can see web control panel here. Okay. And then if you expand the dedicated servers, one of the server where I want to demonstrate about installing CentOS 7 is this one. Okay. And here you can see system OS is showing CentOS 7 because it already have CentOS 7 on top of it. For you, you might have something like not installed, and then when you expand this, it might be installed. For me, it is reinstalled because there is already CentOS 7 on top of this bare metal server which we have rented from OVH. Also, they provide other options like details related to DNS if you want to add any domains to it, backup storage related details. Intervention is the one which is done by OVH for the maintenance purposes. So you will see the intervention details here. You don't use all these things that often except the server status and IPMI. So sometimes you might not be able to connect to these servers through SSH due to whatever issue. If you want to log in onto the server directly without SSH, then you have to use IPMI. You have to click on from your browser or from a Java applet, and it will show you further instructions. This is very, very important to troubleshoot the issues. In case if you cannot connect to the server through SSH, sometimes if there is any issue with the server, before starting SSH itself, the server might stop coming up, and in that case you can actually log in through here, and then you should be able to troubleshoot. Okay, that being said, once you go to server status now and expand this under system OS, you might see install. In my case, it's reinstall. We have to click on that. And then you have two options here, install from an OVH template and install from one of your templates. So if you have any templates, if you have uploaded with OVH, you can use your own template also. So you can pretty much install whatever you want on this bare metal server. So in my case, I am using OVH template itself. Click on next. And you can see when it comes to type of OS, there are two types. One is basic and the second one is ready to go. I will come to ready to go in a moment. Under basic, you can install either BSD or Linux. If you expand Linux, there are options such as CentOS, Fedora, SUSE, Ubuntu, etc. So you can install any of these things. Okay, and also you can set up Windows if you want. However, you might have to buy the license and register your Windows server, but you should be able to set up. The second option here is ready to go graphical user interface, and if you click that or if you choose that, there are ESXis where you can actually set up the lightweight operating system to create virtual machines such as VMware ESXi, and you should be able to create virtual machines on top of it. So it provides those advanced tools where you can have base UI based tool to work with server further. Okay. However, we will not be using this. Earlier I have used ESXi from here and set up ESXi on one of the servers and created virtual machines. For now, we will not be doing that. We'll be using the basic, and in basic in Linux, you can either set up CentOS or Fedora or Ubuntu, all these free Linux kernels. In this case, I am going to set up CentOS 7. And then if you scroll down, you have language options. We'll be using English. And then you have this customize the partition configuration. So whenever you provision these servers, you will get at least 2 hard drives. It can be 2 terabytes or 4 terabytes overall, which means 2 hard drives of 1 terabyte each, or 2 hard drives of 2 terabyte each, etc. With the configuration which we have provisioned, it gets 2 hard drives of 2 terabytes, and by default, it is configured with RAID, which means you will only get 2 terabytes available storage, because it will use one of the hard drives as backup and only one hard drive to store the main copy. So whatever you are trying to write into hard drive, it will use both the hard drives, and one copy will go onto each of the hard drives. So even if one of the hard drives goes wears out, still data is available on the other hard drive. That is the purpose of RAID. In this case, we are just doing this for exploratory purposes, and I don't want to waste my storage, and hence we have to choose customize the partition configuration. Click on next, and here you can see that the disks which you want to use for the installation, it has chosen both of them, so we'll leave the 2 here. And more importantly, you can see that our root file system, which is / have only 40 GB, so the operating system files, log files, etc. will go here, and the home directory for users have 4.3 terabyte, and also 1 GB is given to swap space. So in this case, I am removing the mount point to home and editing the root file system, disabling RAID mirroring or disabling RAID completely, and hence we'll be able to use the entire 4 terabytes of storage. But caveat is, even if one hard drive goes down, you have to rebuild your system. Unless you have some backups, you will lose the entire data. So in this case, I am using close to 4 terabytes here. Still 200 GB is free, but we can leave it. Okay, and then save it. Validate this partition without saving. Don't worry too much about this warning. This warning is due to disabling the RAID, and then click on next. Here you can preview these things. If you want to save the installation, you can save. I don't want to. And you can give the host name as rnd.itversity.com. Okay, and then if you have any installation script, post installation, if you want to execute those things, you can actually pass the URL here. We don't want to do that. And here, make sure you choose install original kernel. By choosing install original kernel, you don't need to worry too much about the custom kernels provided by OVH. Some of the features which work with the typical CentOS 7 might not work here if you don't choose the original kernel. Hence, make sure you choose original kernel, and then you can expand this by saying without SSH key. If you want to use SSH key, you can set up, you can pre-set up, and you can upload, and you should be able to use it. In this case, I am actually setting up without SSH key. You have to go to some other location where you can upload the SSH keys, and all the SSH keys that are uploaded will be available here. In this case, we are setting up without SSH key and clicking on confirm. Okay. So make sure you disable RAID, keep root and swap, and delete other partitions. Choose the name for the server. Make sure to choose original kernel. These are very, very important. Now the installation would have been started. You can see here. It will take some time, at least 5 to 10 minutes to complete the installation, and then you will get an email with the password. Now the installation is done. You can see the installation complete message here, and you will get an email to your registered email ID with the password, because we haven't set it up with the SSH key. You can open that email and you can see the password here. This is the password which you can use, and then you can go to your terminal and say SSH root yet. The IP address for this server is this one. This is alias actually. This is the IP address 54.39.53.37. So using that alias, I pasted it. It is already there in known hosts. I have to clean it up. Now I can actually say SSH yes and paste the password. boom, you are in the host which have CentOS 7 in it. You can actually see the configuration of this server by running ls cpu. It has 16 CPUs, and also by running free-h with respect to memory. It has 64 GB memory in this machine. So as the password is visible to you, I want to change the password here. So I am entering the new password here. Okay, and now we are good to go. I have reset the password. Now if you go back to the material after setting up the machine, once we validate that we can connect to that machine using SSH, I just want to disable SE Linux. SE Linux stands for Security Enforce Linux. As we are just using this server for exploration purposes, by creating virtual machines on top of it, on the host I just want to disable SE Linux, and the way you can do it is by just running this script, which will disable SE Linux and it will restart the server. There is a way where you can actually disable SE Linux without restarting, but I just want to restart, and hence I'm running this command. Okay, so it will take some time to get restarted, and then we will actually log in and take it from there.